said so long, carry on, 'cause the devil wants to take me for a ride.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Ladies and gentlemen, and those of you in between and outside, welcome back to another episode of Get Your Act Together with Mike Bain. How you doing? Right? I'm doing good. I'm doing great because I'm right back in the good old US of A. I've been here for a little bit, but now I'm finally recording. Right back in the good old US of A. Right back in the good old US of A. And I'm coming to America. I already came in America. I don't care what anyone says. Pretty sure that was Neil Diamond and he's Canadian. So fuck him anyway. But the America has the best patriotism, right? It's just the best compared to any other country. Now, when you watch Chinese patriotism, you know, you don't quite get it because they're kind of dancing around. They have a girl singing in the, am I going to try? Are we going to try and do it? I don't even know. It's very melodic. It's just like, I'm sorry. I'm bailing on that one before it even starts. But I get, if I was Chinese, I'd get the culture. Like, right? Like, I get it. But, you know, the Germans, the Chinese, the North Koreans, and the Soviets, they get that militaristic goose-stepping. I love that. Isn't it? We try and make fun of them, but I think there's something badass about having a military parade with just trucks with intercontinental ballistic missiles are just going down the street. I think that's pretty fucking cool, okay? I don't know about you, but it's like it's a nation's version of just walking into a room with your dick out. Just flapping about. You know what? It's hard. You walk into a room with just a hard dick and you go, but you don't act like it's weird. You just, yeah, what's up? Hey, what's up, Kathy? How you doing? What? Oh, I'm sorry. My monster dong is out? Does that intimidate you? I'm sorry. Are you intimidated by that? Are you intimidated by my nationalism? Because we got rock and roll. All right, we got Jimi Hendrix playing the Star Spangled Banner. We're coming to America. And you know, born in the USA. I was born in the USA. You don't even have to like Bruce Springsteen. I don't like Bruce Springsteen, but that's a good fucking song. I was born down in the USA. You can't do that with other countries. You're not born in the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. I was born in Iraq. I was born right down in Baghdad. I was born in Iraq. I'm a smooth jihad daddy in the state of Iraq. Born down on Baghdad Street. Got a bomb on my chest and a suicide vest on me. Gonna get my 72 virgins and sent off to fight the white man. Born in Iraq. I was born down in Baghdad. I was born in Iraq. I'm a smooth imam daddy in the state of Iraq. Woke up and ate some camel meat. Then Muhammad shined a light down on me. He said, time to get the foreign interlopers out of your land. And I said, I'ma kill me some American man. Born in the state of Iraq. I'm a smooth imam daddy in the nation state of Iraq. I get my meat killed halal and don't give a fuck about you at all. because you know what? I take it back. Apparently, you can do that song about other countries. I saw a woman trying to vote, so slapped her face and slit her throat. Oh, baby. Oh, it's good to be back, baby. I went to a diner and I got all the coffee I wanted. Do you know how great it is to be an American and wipe your ass and throw the toilet paper in the toilet and flush it? You don't have to throw your toilet paper in a separate fucking toilet paper bin. That's what it means to be American. You know what it means to be an American? It means I go to a fucking diner. And I look at the menu and I go, I want the farmer's breakfast. Am I a farmer? No, I'm fucking not. I have never planted shit in my entire fucking life. I don't know the first thing about being a farmer. But I know when I go to a diner, I want that big fucking farmer's breakfast. I'm going to get the eggs, all right? Think I'll go scramble. Put some cheese on my scrambled eggs, side of bacon or sausage? No, bacon and sausage. What do you want on the side? I'll take some toast, butter, jam. You want pancakes? Motherfucker, you know I want pancakes, and there better be some chocolate chips in them motherfucking pancakes. Hash browns? Yeah, I'm basically getting 8 meals at once. Butter up them pancakes, load them up with syrup. All right, I'm going to eat myself into a diabetic coma for breakfast to start my day. I'm going to start my day in a fucking hole. Why? Because I'm an American, and I don't give a fuck. And that's what it means to be American. And when I get refills of water, I get refills of coffee. You know, in other countries, you go, oh, can I get a water? And they go, here's a bottle of water. That's like 20% of your meal. Can I get another? Well, you can. You got to pay for it, bitch. Believe this shit? You know, they don't just get free refills in other countries. Oh, you want a coffee? Here's a little dinky cup of coffee. Oh, is that espresso? No, that's just a coffee. But it's the size of an espresso. What are you doing to me? Can I have another? Yeah, you can pay for another. That's what it means to be an American. An American is someone who goes, I know what I want, and I'm going to get what I want. And you ain't going to stand in my fucking way, hippie. It's great. Hey, it's a great thing. And a lot of people just don't, you don't realize how good you have it till you walk away. You know? It's like you start fucking some other pussy, and then you go, damn, my girl, my ex, she was a lot tighter than I realized. Or you know, you start getting, you see a girl who's well put together, and you go, you know, because shit's a mess over here in America. We're fighting all the time, and she can be a kooky fucking jealous cunt. And then you get a new girl, and you go, damn, I didn't realize how important a good blowjob was in my life. Like a good refill blowjob. I thought I could live without it. Nah, because once you have the good stuff, you don't want to, no, I can't. I don't know how I do it. Space. Do you know how good it is just to have physical space? Just to have space. To have space between you and your fellow man. Because I love my fellow man. All right? Born down in Baghdad Street, and my fellow man is a different religion than me. So I killed his family and I fucked his wife, because I'm a smooth rockin'. I'll stop. Born in a Baghdad. I fucking fuck. I don't know. I don't want to stop singing. That's really this is gonna be a short podcast anyway, because I get a lot of stuff going on. But I could sing that for the entirety. I'm a smooth rockin' jihad daddy in the state of America. Bruce. Fuck. I wish I knew some Arab last names. Bruce. Ahmadinejad. Bruce. Fuck. What's the guy who runs Syria? Fuck. Why don't I remember his name? Fuck. Oh, Bruce Assad. Bruce. Oh, do you listen to the Bruce Assad, baby? Bruce Assad. He's got the fucking hits. Anyway, it's good to be home. It's good to be home. And I got myself, speaking of nationalism, I got myself in a bit of a pickle over here. I got myself in a bit of a pickle. Also, it's nice to have highways. Dude, other countries don't have highways. It's nice to have cars that actually, like automatic cars. Other countries, all the cars are fucking manual. You have an automatic car, you're a big fancy man. Oh, you don't use the clutch, you're a big fancy man. Oh, big fancy man. No. Here, if you have a manual car, you've made a choice so that you can tell everyone, I drive a manual car because I'm a fancy man. That's what it's. What do you drive automatic? I'm a real man. Got a real man's car. I shift gears on my own. Oh yeah, that's great. I don't have to. I don't have to. I get to listen to my podcast and not worry about that. Fuck that shit. Anyway, I got myself in a pickle because first got back. Came home to a lot of shit. And I wasn't expecting it. And I'm scrolling through social media, as I'll do when I'm stressed out. I've talked about this. And I see a post, and it's just a guy interviewing a guy on the street, and it's a Swede. Fucking Swedes. I'm so sick and look, I'm sick and tired of the fucking Swedes. Anyway, interviews this Swedish fucking cunt. Such Scandinavians irk me because they are extraordinarily arrogant, but they do it in a way where they pretend they're not. Right? Like they're incredibly arrogant towards other cultures and their superiority to those other cultures. But they base that on the fact that they tell themselves that I'm not superior to those other cultures, right? They pretend they're above the things that we all do, like having pride in ourselves and our nation states and our cultures and our faiths and our people. And they interview this fucking Swede. And the guy goes, hey, are you proud to be from your country? Something along those lines. Basically, and the guy goes, no, I'm not proud of my country. Why would I be proud of something I didn't do? I didn't choose to be in the Swede. I didn't, So I think it's silly when these little people, they're proud to be from their place. Oh, look at me. I'm a Yankadoodle dandy. I wave my flag. Look at, I'm patriotic and nationalistic. Oh, so stupid. And I wrote a comment where I said, wow, that was fucking gay. And I thought about doing it. I was like, should I do this? And I was just about to go into work, and I'm at a Starbucks, and there's a little Chinese baby across from me who is just loving me. He's having a ball staring at me going, and I'm like, hey, because I want to wave at the baby, but nowadays, I feel like if I wave at a kid, everyone's going to be like, you trying to fuck that kid? And I go, no, I'm just like a dude who, is being friendly, but like, women can be good to kids. I can't, looking like I do, I can't just go, hey, what's up, Chinese baby? Hey, go, make faces at him because people go, what are you fucking? What are you, a fucking baby fucker? Are you diddling babies? No! Well, anyway, this baby's looking at me, and I go, fuck it. So I post it, and, I've done this before, where I'm being a little cunty, and I just post something on a page, and I never do it on a page of a person I don't like, because that helps their algorithm, so I just click not interested when I see a page of somebody I don't like I know when someone's using the system, like, as somebody who does it, like, you come across a page and somebody purposely misspells something, they want you to correct it and call them dumb, because then it ups their algorithm, creates more likes with people trashing them. You put up a post, and let's say you're traveling, and you go, oh, look at this goofy tradition in this country. I saw some black dude who was in Spain. There were guys wearing Catholic outfits that kind of looked like the KKK with bigger hats. And he's like, oh, is Spain racist? Now, he knows what he's fucking doing. He knows it's going to start an argument in the thread of these arrogant Europeans that are going, oh, Americans don't know how to travel. He knows what he's doing because you're making his shit go viral by yelling at him. When you yell at somebody on their page, you help them. So I just hit not interested. Now, I was mad at the guy getting interviewed, not the whatever. And I wasn't going to... Also, I can't fight this guy on You can't argue with somebody on nationalism and patriotism and pride. In this, like, it doesn't, it just, you can't do that on social media. It doesn't work. It's not the place for that. I can do it right here, right now, and I will, but all I could write was fucking, I heard the guy's thing like, oh, I think that I'm proud of my nation. Yes, we have all these good health benefits and health care, and we take care of our people, and it's safe, and we do this. And Sweden does have a lot of good things. There's a lot of bad things, which I'll explain, but also initially good things. And he goes, but that's not something about being a Swede. That's Swedish. It's something about being a human. That is humanness, and I'm proud of my humanness. And it was just such a fucking, it was very pedantic, very cunty. I knew what he was doing, and I just wrote, fucking gay. God damn, that's gay. The video went viral. My comment went viral. And old ginger daddy here has been taking a beating. Oh, man, every time I would load up Instagram, I'd see the notification. I tried to mute it. I couldn't figure out how to mute it, and it's just people insulting me. Just insult. And it's the same comment over and over again, because these people, it's funny, it's people who, and I really thought about taking it down, because I was like, that was dumb of me. You know, I'm trying to build an account that isn't, you know, like a miserable fucking dude, because that's not who I am. You know, sometimes life gets at you and you get a little cranky, but I don't want that to be how I showcase myself. I want to help people, you know? And I think that's funny, calling people gay anyway. So I was torn. And the more they were trashing me, the more I was like, I can't back down. Like, I know that's childish to think, like, if I take this away, I don't have to open my Instagram and then see all this negative stuff, which does make you feel bad when people are trashing you, even if you don't. And I caught in this, I'm stuck on this fence. Do I take this fucking thing down? You know, I'm getting thousands of fucking messages of people hating me. And I just didn't, because I was just like, whatever. Just like, it'll go away. And I was kind of had this, well, like, I do think it's gay. Like, I want to stand by my word. Like, this guy is a fucking fag, but, you know, I want to stand by my word. But at the same time, you know, I just don't want all this, like, that's dope. What am I doing? You know, like, am I being childish, Mike? And I've kept it up. But here's the thing. At a certain point, the comments just started making me laugh, because it's very soft, limp-wristed people trying to trash me. Very soft, liberal, or gay. The gays got mad at me, obviously. And a lot of the comments were, oh, is it gay to use your brain? I guess it's gay now to think. I get so many of it was like, this guy's intelligent and you're just too dumb. You're too dumb to get it. Or like, you're bald. There was so many, like you, dude, you can't, like, it's funny that people would think they could trash me for being bald, right? That's a weird, I'm bald because I have too much testosterone. I'm bald because I'm too much of a fucking man. That's, hey, Mike, your dick's too big. You got too much, well, that's, you know, that's in my mind how I'm hearing it. I'm trying to strap, like, it's, you're too much of a fucking dude. It is a funny thing for your body to just go, hey, your body gets so manly that it's just like, dude, I think this hair's gay. What am I doing combing hair? What am I, a fucking broad? I'm getting rid of that hair, and I'm going to replace it with hair on my back and my neck and my balls. And you know what? My grundle. Yeah, you can't call me gay for having hair on my grundle. You can if it's on my head and it gets flowy. So get that gay shit off my head and put it in between my butt and my balls. That's what your body does. And then, like, how many? It's crazy because it shows me the young people grow up in soft. Well, not just young people, but these people specifically. These soft, pseudo-intellectual liberals, right? Like, because they're trashing me on shit, and I'm like, bro, my friends have trashed me on this way worse than you for years. Like, I have been through so much in life that nothing you... Like, one guy made fun of my teeth. He said, you have teeth like a broken piano. And I just laughed. I was like, all right, you're being creative. And I started just finding entertainment in it. Sometimes it's like, you're the worst person ever. Nobody loves you. And it's just like, bro, what? That's not even creative. And clearly I'm not the worst person ever. I just called the guy gay. I'm not hurting people. I don't But it really blew me away how many motherfuckers just got so... They got so salty. Like, and I was like, man, why'd you let me get to you like that? I responded nothing. I don't get into it with them. Some guys would come back within days of each other to trash me again. And I'm like, my shit bothered you so much that you commented, came back, because I didn't comment on your shit. I didn't give you a reason. Came back to try and get me. like you sat with this for 3 fucking days. You were just going about your life like, fucking gay, huh? So I'm gay because I don't take pride in myself? Yeah, you are. It's weak and pathetic not to be proud of who you are and where you come from and what you are. And it's not. So here I'll give my rebuttal because I've been holding on to this, even though you guys didn't ask for it. The Swede was in reality being patriotic and not xenophobic, but jingoistic. He was believing in the supremacy of his own culture, and here's why. Because he said all this stuff that is Swedish stuff, right, which is cool. It is, you have a generous welfare state in Sweden, but Sweden also has, as a result of their degenerate open border policy, Sweden has, I'd say about 30 to 50% of their capital city is now not even Swedish, and it's not safe. Swedish has the second most bombings of a nation state that isn't at war. Like, people are grenading each other and blowing the fuck out of each other in Stockholm and other suburbs of the city. Like these foreigners, they are literally having gang wars with grenades and bombs. So Sweden will sit there and tell you, we are the great, but at the same time, your lack of nationalism has destroyed your culture and your nation state and your race. If you don't take pride in something, like, you won't keep it up. If I have no pride in the appearance of myself, I'm not going to shave. I'm not going to shave my hair. I'm not going to shower. When you have pride in yourself, you take care. When I have pride in my home, I take care of my home. When I have pride in my community, I take care of my community. That's how you upkeep something, is with a sense of pride in it. And so when you don't have a sense of pride in being Swedish, you won't preserve what it means to be Swedish. And he said, these are not Swedish things. These are human things. That is the most arrogant European thing I've ever fucking heard. And it bothers me because they don't realize what they're doing. Maybe they do, but they just don't care. What they're doing is they're saying that the things that are important to my culture, which are human rights, when they say human rights, they say feminism, excessive feminism, and LGBTQ stuff to the fucking moon. That, and literally upon my country so full of fucking refugees and foreigners that my country isn't recognizable. That's what they're saying. That's human rights. And when he's saying that these are human things, what he's saying is that I don't acknowledge that their culture is different than mine, that value other things more than this. Because he doesn't understand a culture that's, let's say, in the Middle East, where family's more important, and they go, look, we don't play that fucking gay stuff. We don't play it the way you do. That's not part of our culture. That's, to us, degenerate. We think that's the rotting of a nation state, and we don't fucking play that. And what he's saying is that my beliefs, which are unique to my culture, are for all humans. And if you don't believe in them, what he's saying is, I as a Swede am the Uberman, the Ultraman, and the true human, and you other cultures that don't pride yourself on having trans athletes and women doing a surplus of everything that men do, or woman doing male stuff and male doing women stuff, that those guys are non-human, that their cultures are unhuman. That's what he's saying. And then they're too arrogant to even fucking they're saying that there is but one way of viewing the world, and that is the Western globalist way of viewing the world, and nothing else. So I said, fucking gay. And also, these same people, if you ask them about pride for other countries and stuff, they go, yeah, that's cool. All right. They would tell you that pride is very important for the gay and trans community. Well, gay people and trans people, from what I'm told, they don't pick that shit. It's something they're born with. So why is it wrong to be pride in the fact that I was born in this country? Because in the end of the day, your pride comes from the fact that you contribute to your community, your culture, that you keep it going. Because a culture will die if it's not kept going. It's like a garden. You have to till it. It's like a house. It requires upkeep. Culture and tradition, all of this will die. We're watching it die as we speak. Go look at people from 100 years ago to now. It has died. And it's died because people don't keep it up. All right? The important thing with Native Americans was they kept their culture alive, and they had to do this. Jews, the same thing. You fought to keep it alive, right, over and over and over again, or else it would be extinguished. People would naturally just let it go, especially if there's an outside influence trying to make you let it go. So, yeah, also, think about this. Let me ask you a question. When it comes to pride in your ethnicity or your nation or your race or whatever, people close to the equator are usually more proud, and they're genuinely nicer people. They're far nicer than Scandinavians, which are very off-putting people. They're not a bad people, but they're not fucking friendly people. If somebody said to you, hey, would you want to go to a wedding? A Swedish wedding or an Italian wedding? I'm going to the fucking Guinea wedding. People go, hey, you want to go to a wedding? I go, sure, the Brazilian wedding or Norwegian wedding. Fucking dude, Brazilian wedding. Mexican wedding or Danish wedding. They're going to have more fun. There's going to be dancing and drinking and women, you know, letting loose and being feminine and squirming and dancing in there. It's going to be, you know, it's going to be more fun. You know, it's just going to be ball busting and not this, I walk around with a poker up my ass. Oh, because that's what they do, you know? And that's pride. When these people are proud of themselves, they let go. They're more fun. Proud people are more fucking fun. Their cultures are more fun. I've been to the third world. People are proud there. They're proud. And if you look at it, they have less to be proud of than somebody in the first world because their country's a fucking mess. Now, they're proud of the fact that they keep themselves going, even, which is still something to be proud of. But if you're taking pride simply on your nation's achievements, economically, on a human social index, then they're way at the bottom and they're prouder than you are. So, you know, stop being fucking gay. All right, I had to get that out. Sorry, I think I started saying fuck too much toward the end there. But yeah, you don't. Pride can be overdone. Absolutely, pride can be overdone, but it is not inherently a bad thing. And what's interesting is Europeans always talk about, you're proud, you're a nationalist. Nationalism caused 2 world wars. Well, no. Nationalism itself didn't cause 2 world wars. Corrupt governments and greedy fucking upper class people caused 2 world wars. Bankers caused 2 world wars. I'm reading War is a Racket right now by Smedley Butler. And he talks about how in the First World War, was the most decorated Marine general ever. And after being, getting out of the Marine Corps, he became staunchly anti-war. He said, we didn't fight for freedom. He goes, I didn't fight for freedom in Nicaragua or Haiti or the Philippines or in Europe in the First World War. I did it for money. I did it so these bankers could get fucking richer. That's why I did it, so the upper class. So he said, I can't remember the number. I don't have the book in front of me. But he said just like with COVID, the greatest wealth transfer ever during the First World War, and he watched these companies who were domestic companies who started producing war materials and weapons, their profits tripled, at least. And there were thousands of new millionaires in the United States after World War I. So it's somebody who takes something that's good and manipulates it into something that's bad. Just like you date a person and she's toxic or he's toxic, and he manipulates your love. Your family members will do it. Your love for your family is beautiful and pure, and someone who's evil can manipulate that to make you do something you shouldn't do because you think you're doing it for them, and you love them and you want to help them. So that's what happens when there's bad nationalism. Because here's the thing, without nationalism, there would be no Ireland, Nigeria, or India. they would all be part of the British Empire. It was nationalism that led them away. And if you ask those people if that's good, they'd say, oh, yeah, that's good. Without nationalism, Algeria would still be France. Without nationalism, Ukraine never would have put up a fight. The Russians would have rolled right in. Ukraine would have disappeared. Without nationalism, the Palestinians wouldn't be fighting for their right to exist till this day. Without nationalism, the Jews would have disappeared into the different cultures. They would have been assimilated. So you can call it pride and nationalism or patriotism. I'm using all these words as the same thing. But without it, all these nations would have lost their fight. Without pride and nationalism, there would be no United States. There would be no Latin America. It would all still be Spain. There would be no revolutionary movements. There would be, without pride, there would have been no civil rights movement. Without black nationalism, there wouldn't exist. Without black pride, it wouldn't have existed. So, yeah, there we go. Sorry, I did get that. Let me get back to... Anyway, I wrote this because I was a little stressed out because I came home and my mother's house was being worked on for a year by a contractor. And the motherfucker was just left stuff unfinished. And I'm fighting with this guy. And it's just, even when you get a good contractor, they're still a little bit crook. Like, there's still a little, it's just, I know one good contractor for certain. And I know him because he's family to me. And he's an honest guy. Actually, I know two. I know two up New Hampshire. The other one's a friend. And they're honest fucking dudes. Which is saying a lot. But this guy finishes, he decides he didn't get the profit he liked, so he's just kind of giving up. Now, I still owe him 10 grand. I'm not going to pay him the 10 grand, because fuck him. But fighting with this dude and just being like, you come home and you just go, oh, why didn't somebody take care of this while I was gone, blah, blah, blah. So you get, it's a lot. And I'm realizing now that so much of what being a man is, being an adult, especially being a man, is like, and this is part of something I see between rural and urban. Most of the people I meet up in New Hampshire, which is a conservative place, they run their own businesses. There's not, they just didn't go down and put in a resume at H&R Block. They go, all right, I'm going to go out and make my own work and make my own business. I am responsible for fixing my own house. These guys, I hang out with them, and I'm just like, I don't know how to fix anything. These guys are talking about remodeling their bonds and stuff, and I just go, oh man, I got water, and I know nothing by comparison, and I'm just embarrassed. But as a guy from the city, I didn't, you rely on the city to fix a lot of stuff. City fixes my sidewalk and the water coming in. Up here, out there, rural America, you're responsible. And what I've realized with a lot of socialists is in stand-up comedy, especially coming up with young open micers, everyone's a socialist because everyone's broke. And I kind of went through a phase as a quasi-socialist because you're trying to get by, but you're young and you're broke and you're angry and you're working hard. But you're a young man or young woman, you work hard, but you don't see dividends on your results because you're new. You haven't built up seniority in your union. You haven't built up time in your company. You haven't built up your full experience. So you're working yourself to the bone, and you're just not getting paid enough to get by. But at a certain point, it does kick in, and you start doing better because you've got that experience, and you start seeing dividends on your work. But when you're young, you don't have enough money saved up or knowledge to get your own home, so you're frustrated, you're paying rent, which is a fucked thing because when you're young, that's your time to build up. And instead, we've ruined our youth time because our culture kicks our kids out of the house at 18. So when they could be saving up a nest egg to get out there and take on the world, they're dumping it in some other fucker's coffers through rent. When you could live with your family, the way every other culture does it. But no, you're not responsible. Oh, you're 18. You hit the magic number. You should be dumping 50 to 70% of your paycheck into some other guy's pockets. Sorry. And then dumping this money into some other guy. The same thing is you send your kids to college, they come out with massive debt. So all this money, so it creates that I've worked hard. You went to college. You worked your balls off. You studied. You worked hard. It's not, not everyone is good like a basket weaving major. There's a lot of dudes going to college working their balls off. I know I was one of them. And then you get out And you get all this debt. And so you can't get anywhere. You can't get ahead. You're working these shit jobs and you already aren't making like a senior guy's stuff. You're not making what you would have if you had experience. So you're struggling. You make a little bit of money and you can't get out. So it creates this kind of like fuck the world mentality in young people. And you don't want that. You got to fix that. It's not good for young people to say fuck the world. You want them to look at the world and go, yeah, I want a piece of the world. When they say fuck the world, they'll fucking destroy it, including for themselves, because they have no hope yet in the world. So I'd see young people at shows and they'd be this version of socialist where they just go, oh, I want free housing. And what they want is they want government subsidized blocking, house blocks like in the old Soviet Union, because they don't want to take care of a house. They don't want, also with their youth, they don't want responsibility. The difference between a boy and a man is responsibility. When they're younger, they don't want responsibility. Because, dude, taking care of a house is tough. Dealing with this contractor is fucking tough. I've learned to be chill, but sometimes I want to punch a fucking wall. It's tough. And not only that, I get back, and while I'm fighting with the contractor in my mom's house, a tree fell on my house. Dude, there's a tree on my house right now. A tree fell on my house, my fucking house. Trees on my house. And it didn't go through the roof, thankfully. But, dude, it's like being like, oh, there's a tree on my house. Does the government take that away? No, I don't live in an apartment building. I'm responsible for my own mail, my own trash, my own utilities, my own shoveling. The tree falls on my house. I got to deal with that. Like, there's nobody doing that. And a lot of people I meet in the cities who had moved from the suburbs, who came to the cities, do stand-up comedy and were progressive, they would say the same stuff. Like, in their mind, housing, and I deserve a home because these damn boomers, they don't think about the responsibilities. They don't want that responsibility. They just want a place to live carefree, and you don't get that. When you get your own home, when you get your own place, with a condo, you don't really worry about that. But you pay with your fucking stupid fees, and you deal with a homeowners condo association. When you get your own home, it's a lot of responsibility. It's a lot. It's just, that's why I haven't been creating as much. It's a lot to deal with. And a lot of young men, these boys, they keep saying, oh, I want a woman who's faithful and traditional. I want her who does, I keep seeing online, I want a woman like this. Then take on the responsibility. Commitment is a responsibility. Taking care of a woman is a responsibility. Oh, I just want to play video games and then fuck my girlfriend when I feel like it. No. I just want to, have her around. She can cook and clean, but then she wants to talk about stuff and wants to do lovey stuff and gay date stuff. Yeah, that's part of being a man. You got to be there for her emotionally, spiritually, physically, mentally. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to have a marriage. It's a lot of work to have a relationship with a woman. A good woman requires good work. And these young dudes, they want the woman without the work. They want the house without the work. They want it all without the work that comes with it. But that good stuff comes with responsibility. And anyway, I don't know why I went on. I'm sorry, I keep going on these tangents and I forget where I was going with that. Anyway, tree on my house. Contractors, like, you don't learn about this stuff, about how frustrating it really is. And, it's good to have. I'm very thankful that I have my own place. I'm a very fortunate and lucky guy to have this. I really am. And I'm very grateful for it. But I call up my insurance company. And I go, hey, look, there's a tree on my house. And they go, oh, you got a $500 deductible, and then we'll give you $1,000 in tree removal. And then I found, but I'm like, is it damaged your roof? I go, I don't know. I can't see under the tree. So there's no leaks on the inside. The inside isn't fucked up. Maybe there's some damage on the outside of my roof. I don't know yet. So they go, all right, do you want to... So I get a tree guy out here. It took me forever to get a tree guy. And he goes, nah, man, I'm going to do it for like $850. And I'm like, well... That's $350 over my deductible. I should open up a claim. And then I do. And I'm figuring out what I'm going to do. And then, another guy comes out. He's like, I'll do it for $600. And I go, great. Now, you know what? That's only $100 over my deductible. But here's what I find out. With housing insurance, if you file a claim on your house, homeowner's insurance, whatever it's called, if you file a claim because there's a flood or a fire or a tree or something happens, and there's a lot of stuff in homeowners insurance you wouldn't know is there. Like if someone falls down your stairs and breaks their hip, that stuff's covered. Like, there's a lot of stuff in there. Look into it if you have homeowners insurance. But with homeowners insurance, if you then file a claim afterwards, your premiums can go up or they can drop you. And I started talking with people and they go, oh yeah, my neighbor filed a claim. They dropped it next year. Dude, these insurance companies are insane. The stuff they get away with is insane. So I pay all this money into insurance. And then you at the end of the day get to go, when I call on you to do your job, because I'm not walking around fucking pushing over trees. I'm not Paul Bunyan and Babe the Blue Ox. I'm not just leaning into trees and knocking them over on my house for fun. That's a giant storm came through and knocked over trees all over the state. And you're going to and by filing my claim to get the money back that I've paid into, you will up my premiums, and then I find out now that I've opened the claim, I might not be able to close it. They might, even if I go to them and I go, hey guys, I got this other guy. You know what? I don't need you. I don't need your money. It's all good. That they might just go, yeah, your premiums are up. What? Yeah, we'll drop you. I didn't even finish. I didn't take any money from you, dude. It's a precaution in case there's something wrong with my roof. I can't see my roof yet. Jeez, it's insane. I feel like sometimes America feels like a great big scam, right? Like you work hard to get your money, but there's always there's some scam where you got to pay a fine or a policy or something just to play the game, right? Like, you know how in Monopoly, you want to play Monopoly, sometimes you land on those stupid things where you pay a tax or fine, whatever, and it sucks. But imagine if Monopoly was like so many of those. Like it was 50% of those spots and then 50% properties. So you couldn't make enough money to keep getting properties and get ahead. That's America right now. What's that? Here's an excise tax. Here's a tax on a tax. Here's a sales tax, eating in tax. Did I always tax your money? Yeah, well, here's another tax. There's a tax and a tax and a tax and a tax and a tickety tax. And then you pay your insurance. And then, oh yeah, premium's up. Oh, I just went in for a speeding ticket I got in October. Right? I got in New Hampshire, so I go down to the Concord courthouse. And I'm sitting there, and I've taken time off from work to do this. And and I get there, they go, oh, hey, you do this over the phone. And I go, yeah, I figured you could do it over the phone, but I'm dressed nice to fight my ticket, with the judge. And they go, no, this has to be over the phone. And I go, I put in an appeal because I was out of country so I could do this now. And you're telling me now that it can be done that it's strictly by phone. And they go, yeah. And I go, why is there a time, 8:15, and an address for this Concord courthouse here? And then underneath there's a whole paragraph saying if I don't show up for court, I have to. And they go, oh, well, that's just if you wanted to, fight it later on. And I go, but you would send me a new letter in the mail giving me a new date and time and the address. And they go, yeah. And I go, so here's what they did. They print out the same thing they always do. And they just took a yellow ticket sticker on the top with the number saying telecert. And I go, because they just didn't want to make, at no point does it say, hey, this isn't, and there's another guy there doing the same thing. I was just like, bro, you couldn't just make a new form that said, hey, you just print out the same form and slapping a little yellow ticket sticker on the top because you're such cheap pricks. And the reason I'm fighting it is because I still have a Massachusetts license and insurance. So if I get a ticket, now in New Hampshire, you need car insurance, which is great. And if you get a ticket, you just have a ticket. So you say you get a $250 ticket, which is what I got. You just pay the $250 and you're done. In Massachusetts, that speeding ticket, especially a high speed ticket, makes your premiums go up about 33 to 35%. Even a lower speed ticket, the insurance companies pass this law. Somehow they got a corrupt state to pass this law that your insurance premiums go up 30% for your car. And you end up paying about $3,000. So not only is the ticket, you pay the state, you then have to pay an extra $3,000 over 3 years to the insurance companies for being a bad, and this, even if you have a perfect record, all it takes is one speeding infraction. And they milk you. They milk you like a big bald bull just stroking. I could have said a female, cow, but they milk you for your semen to impregnate the cows because you're so virile. You're doing what? Insane! It's insane! It's insane! So I call up this number while I'm sitting in the parking lot of the court, and I just go, and it's just a state trooper. He's got like 8 people. He goes, I'm going to read your name, and then, state trooper, blah, blah, blah. State trooper suck and fuck. And I'll read your name, and if your name's there, say here, and then I'll call you back. And he goes down, Michael Bain. I go, I'm right here. I'll call you back. Calls back 30 minutes later and just goes, hey, so here's the deal. And I've never heard of this pre-trial thing. Usually you just go fight your ticket and you deal with it with a judge and they go, hey, we'll cut it down for you, And I go in. So I'm on the phone and they just go, here's the deal. We sending people to court takes a lot of logistics and time and it costs money to put everyone in court. So we want to reduce the amount of people going to court. So we can reduce your ticket to a lower speeding violation and all that, if you want to play, he said it, he's like, if you want to work with me. He's like, basically, look, you either work with me and I can make this not as bad as it is and I'll reduce the speeding violation and I'll reduce the money. Or you go to court and you fight it. And I go, I'm going to go to court and fight it, right? Because if I go to court and fight it, I can still potentially get it reduced, right, in front of a judge. Now, if I don't, I can still go to court and fight it. And if I just take this deal, if I was in New Hampshire, I would take it if I had a New Hampshire license, because then you just pay out and it's done. But as Massachusetts, now if you ever move states, it'll come back to haunt you. With a Massachusetts license, even if I take it and I get $100 knocked off, $150, I still get the hit and I still pay the $3,000 over the course of 3 years. So which is why people hire these traffic attorneys for like $1,000. It's insane, dude. Anyway. I was trying to get at was I found some peace this week. In all this, I found peace. And it's faith, right? I've talked about this ad nauseum, but faith that things will work out. So when I first, got to my house and the trees there and everything's wrong, and I'm just, the contractors in my mom's house are fucking everything up. It's not done. I'm dealing with immigration for my wife. I just had to go see a lawyer. I'm working like crazy, so I'm not sleeping. I'm working double, triple shifts. And you never seem to have enough money. You never do. Even if you're working well, it's never enough. And I just relaxed. I kind of just went, oh, man. Things started falling into place. They started falling into place because I started having faith. And I didn't allow everything to wreck me. Almost did, but I stopped being angry. And I took some time off, because I had been like, look, let me take care of my house. Take a few days where I'm not working. All right, and then I got to do this court thing anyway, so I'll take some time off. And the whole time I'm kicking myself because I'm like, you should be working, you should be making money. But those days off gave me time to center myself. And I fought it, but it did. Just thinking. Even, and it wasn't like I was sitting there meditating like I actively used to or should. Just being present with my thoughts. And when, you know what, it's going to work out. Because then I get this tree guy who's charging me a lot. Then I get another guy who says, I'll do it for way less. It worked out. I'm paying too much of my cable. They're installing new fiber optics. Guy comes over, nice guy, installs fiber optics. Now I pay way less in my bill. All right. And I started noticing things. Like, I took these days off because I had to get for the tree, and then because I had to come up for a court date. And I was like, I could have done that court case. I could have called when I was away. But by being here now, I got to see my family. I got to see some old friends who I wouldn't have seen if I hadn't taken time off. All of it, it was as if everything fell in perfect place. And at first, I kept thinking I was getting fucked over. Life was, why me? Life is fucking me over. Till I realized that I had not taken that time off. I wouldn't reconnected with these people who I care about. I wouldn't have had these great experiences again, which is what I want out of life. That's what I work for. And I realized, the universe, God, whatever you want to say, or maybe there's an algorithm. It put things in a certain way, and I was only seeing the negative, and I took a step back and realized that all these things are happening for a reason. I'm in a much better mental state now than I was a week ago. And that's because, I had faith in everything. So right after that ticket thing, I'm driving through Concord. I've never really driven through the New Hampshire State Capitol. I see the Capitol building. I go, I'm going to walk inside. Funny thing, no security, no metal detectors. You just walk right in with a gun because constitutional carry up here. And there's, I was blown away. No security. You could just walk. You could walk in this place and go buck wild. It was just, but then I remembered, well, everyone here is packing. And I remember telling my wife, and she couldn't believe it, like what? And I go, well, because people who come from a culture where there's no guns, they immediately think about somebody getting loopy with a gun or getting aggressive with a gun. But then they forget that when everyone has one, it kind of defeats the purpose because they just think of them not having a gun because they're not gun people. They don't want the responsibility that comes with owning a gun. Once again, they don't want that adult responsibility. It's a responsible thing, and if you're not good with responsibility, you get anxious. So anyway, I'm in there and I'm talking, I was like, you know what, whatever. It worked out for the way it did. And the Bruins won. I was supposed to go home, go back to work, but the Bruins won their game. And so then it messed up the schedule for all the concerts at the Garden. So my work happened on the day when I had to go to court and I couldn't. So I'm like, well, I might as well just take a few more days off because now I can't work because the Bruins met. And then that time, my buddy calls me and he's trying to get sober and he goes, let's hang out. Let's go do some nature stuff. And I go, you know what? I would have had to say no because I was mad that the Bruins messed up my work schedule. But if I had had that work schedule, I wouldn't be there to help you with this thing you're going through. And these things, they just kept lining up. One by one, fate just kept determining. And at first, I could only see me missing out on money or work. But then better things kept working out. And while I'm in the Capitol building, I go to the visitor center. And they're very nice old ladies, and we're talking. And I go, I live in this town up in New Hampshire now. Well, I'm like back and forth, I'm Boston, but I got my place up here. And they go, oh, we got a school trip from up there, like 4th grade school trip. And I go, what school is it? And I'm like, I think there's only one school. I don't remember the name of the school, but, because they differentiate the middle school from the junior high, from the high school. I go, maybe my niece and nephew will be in there. 4th grade? I wonder I don't remember. She goes, oh, quick. They're about to start. The legislature is about to start a session. So you want to go up there and you can watch their session. And she brings me the elevator and I'm dressed nice because I was just going to go to court. Like it was shirt and tie and my slacks and my shoes. And my nephew and his whole class walk right in and just like, what are the chances? I never would. I'm here. I would never be. The chances of this happening at that exact time are just astronomical. And I know people just go, it's just what do you call it? Statistics. It's astronomical statistics, Mike. But it is fate to me that even though I was up, I got dealt a bad hand, I still made the best of it. And I was debating going in here. I almost didn't go in here, and I did. And the exact second I did, there comes my nephew and one of his teachers. I had been over her house for tacos on Cinco de Mayo on Sunday. And I see her and I go, hey, what's up? And they're like, do you work here? Because I'm getting escorted onto the elevator with all the state senators and the state congressmen while they walk up the stairs. And the woman puts me on the elevator and she goes, this is Mike. He's a interested citizen exploring his civic duty. And they're all like, oh, hi, Mike. And so I take up this elevator, me and all these state senators and congressmen, state representatives, and every floor the class walks by. This is my cousin, his teacher. I go, hey, what's up? He's so excited to see me. We hug each other. He's waving at me, and his class is like, who's that guy? And he's like, oh, it's my I'm his cousin, but uncle, same, close enough. And it was the culmination of, after all this shit that kept happening to me. I kept having problems. It took me a while to get my lawyer. I was having problems with my lawyer. They weren't meeting with me, and I finally paid them, and now they're meeting with me for my wife. I'm having all this problems with my mom's house, with my house. I'm trying to get back into work, and I'm dealing with work issues, and trying to find, make time for everything lined up. And the things that did happen, they happened for a reason, and the reason is that I'm mentally and spiritually better now than I was a week ago. I just kept, and at first I kept being like, woe is me. But that's a shitty way of thinking. And if you think that way, if you think that everything is happening to you for a negative reason, you only see the negativity. And when you open yourself to the fact that things could be happening to you for a positive reason. Now, there might be, it's not all positive. Like, I got to pay to get the tree down, but it was going to happen. Trees fall. That's what they do. They grow, they live, they fall. That's what they do. But it's not like the tree went, fuck Mike Bain. Like, there's not a tree next to my house going, fuck you, you fucking bald, piano key tooth motherfucker. Fuck you. He wasn't, it's just, I'm not, if you, So it happened, and then fate turned out. And if you look for signs of fate, if you trust in it, you'll see them. But if you don't trust in it, you won't see them. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is, like, keep faith. Like, have faith that things are going to work out. That every missed opportunity results in a new opportunity. That there is a silver lining. That sometimes life is throwing you a bone, and you're so fucked up and caught up that you can't even see it when it's thrown to you, because your eyes are somewhere else. So keep that in mind. Have faith. Remember that things are going to get better, right? We focus in a weird way sometimes on the wrong things. And so I took a friend to an AA meeting. It's the first time. And another by fate thing, man. I get in there, and the guy who started the meeting, the speaker, he's an old friend of mine. He was one of the guys on the first night I ever drank, I drank with him. He was one of the first guys. I first started drinking with this guy. And he's there giving a speech, and he looks up and he goes, "Oh, hi, Mike." And everyone stops in the meeting and looks at me. He was so taken aback, because I haven't gone to AA meetings in years. I don't need them anymore. Not only was he one of the first guys I drank with in that group of people, the very first night I drank with him, I drank. And I when it came my turn to speak, I brought it up, and everyone chuckled. We thought it was hilarious. But when I went to my first AA meeting with my uncle, he was there. And now, the first meeting I've gone to in years, it's been years, and I'm taking this guy to his first meeting. Here he is again. And I know you just random statistics, Mike. I feel better when I say it's fate. And I got to introduce my friend to my old friend and go, hey, take his number down. He's a good guy to know if you need help. If you're figuring out meetings, if you still need meetings, just figure this out. Get a good idea for it. If you still want to do it, you don't even have to. Maybe you get your drinking thing under control and you don't have to be all fully sober, whatever. But it just worked out in an incredible way. And I was thinking about, as I'm talking about how long I've been sober, because almost everyone there was a new guy. These were all new guys really struggling. I think I've been sober for about 8 years now. And I realized, I don't know. I don't remember. I just know that it's when the Pats came back to beat the Falcons. And I think it's 8 years. I honestly lose track, and it doesn't matter to me. And the reason it doesn't matter, because I see a lot of guys who will post on social media, I've been sober for, they got a clock, and it goes, 10 years, 5 weeks, and 3 days, and 2 hours, and 30 minutes and 5 seconds, like this astronomical clock. And I go, I think that's a poor way of thinking, because counting days is something you do when you're in prison. You count the minutes when you're at work, when you're in a place you don't want to be. You count, when you see in a movie, guys in prison, he's scratching ones on a wall. 1, 2, 3, 4, cross it off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, cross it off. That's something you see in a POW camp, something you see in a work labor camp, something you see in prison, in jail. You know, a guy in his office every day counting the days. You don't see that. People don't count the days on vacation. Never seen a guy on a beach going, oh, 5 more days of drinking pina coladas out of coconuts and looking at big booty women and just sitting here in the sun and being happy and going for a swim and eating this amazing fish and just, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You don't count days. Counting days is what you do when you're stuck on a desert island and you're losing your mind. But you don't count days on vacation. You don't count days when you're with a woman you love, when you're with your kids. You don't count days when you're in Disney World. You don't count days when you're having a great time. You don't count minutes when you're with your friends. You count them at work. Counting time is something you do when you don't really want to be doing what you're doing. When you're living in the moment and having fun, you don't count time. That's why I don't keep track of that. That's why, it's over. I did it. I'm just on the other side. I made the change, and the change became permanent. If I'm existing in this state of I'm watching The Sopranos now. I'm way late to it. It's one of the characters gets sober and he's being a cunt about it. You guys are drinking in front of me. That's as if it's his issues with alcohol are his issues. Now, if you're dating a woman and you're in the beginning phase, you would hope they would help you. At the end of the day, your issues are your issues. Now, the responsibility thing. Responsibility. Oh, the Americans and your responsibility. Anyway. What I meant to say is when you're getting better and you got better, you don't count the days since you got better because you're just better. If you're still stuck on something, then you're still in love with it. You're not fully over it. You're not fully free from it. And that's the idea of sobriety, is to be free from whatever it used to be. Not to count it, because then you're not free. If I break up with a woman and I'm looking at pictures of her and I'm like, it's been 6 months and 3 days since I saw Jenny. Ooh, I'm not over her. She's still my focus. She's still my thing. She's still dominating my life, and I should be done with her. It's okay to go through that period when you first end something, but over time, if you would ask me how long did you break up with your ex, I don't fucking know. I don't know, dude. That's done. It's over. I don't know hard feelings for her, but it's over. It's over. It's been done and over. It's all good. But it's over. I'm better. Things are better. I remember my dad was married, so it makes it easy to remember. I might not remember how many years. And in the long, I do now because it's early. But in the long run, I'll forget. But why? Because I'm happy. Because I'm happy. And I forget stuff when I'm happy. It can happen if I'm stressed out, but it can happen if I'm happy too. Because I'm just in the moment, experiencing the beauty of what it is I'm experiencing. And it's just about your focus, right? I watch the news. Before I left, I'm in Colombia, I'm watching the news. Their news is the same as ours. It's just politicians and drama, and there's the same thing. It's this dude, Colombian news. Hey, there was a murder in this town. Hey, remember that town? You heard about murders happening? There's another murder there. There's a kidnapping in this town. Me and my mother-in-law bonded over the fact that they had this big segment on a gay Colombian who got with a gay Japanese guy who was a Buddhist Zen monk. And she's like, saying in Spanish, which one's the wife? And Mary my wife is getting mad. She's not, she hates when her mother does this. I'm having a ball. We're both giggling like, which one's is, El Japoneso is, I don't forget how do you say Japanese. Japoneso is la esposa? We're both giggling and we're going, what is this? What is this fucking smut on? Why did this have to be a thing on the news, right? It's just that stupid, when they do a stupid gimmick story on the news, and then everything else was danger and brimstone and politics. And it's about the lens you put on life. And if your lens is covered in shit, you're going to see shit. Clean your lens, take some time off. Let yourself take some time. You might have to put something on hold for a little bit, and it'll be there when you come back to it. Trust me, the tree didn't go anywhere. It's still here. It took me a couple weeks to get to it because I was so busy dealing with other stuff, but it's there. It was still there. I'm still dealing with it. I gotta get back to fixing my house. So this is gonna probably be a short one. I don't know. I don't have much to say about Kendrick Lamar and what's his name, Drake. I don't know. I'm just not invested. I guess it's cool that they're having a rap battle and stuff, but I know what's funny is I saw somebody with painted nails trying to make fun of him, going, you're really. He's doing that fucking cunty, arrogant, pedantic thing that the Swede was doing. It was a black guy making fun of two black rappers, but he's got painted nails and he's something, he's a light in the fucking loafers. And he goes, it's really just two people insulting each other through poetry. Well, that's what rap means, rhythm and poetry. Poetry was something that was we've tried to make poetry this gay thing, but poetry was something looked up to. So throughout multiple societies, in Eastern and Western, poets were a big deal. People loved poets. Poets were musicians for their days. People loved their poetry. They go out and speak, and I'm reading a Conan story, and Conan the Barbarian doesn't want to kill this guy who's plotting against him because he's a poet. And he goes, I can't kill a poet. He's the voice of the masses. He's this important, powerful thing. And I remember reading about these Scottish poets who were having a poet battle. These poets would have poet battles against each other throughout time. Even in ancient Greece and ancient Rome, they'd have this. This was important in Mesoamerica. It was important in Mesopotamia. And you could find poets having battles in Eastern Asia and South Asia. And poets were a big deal. Aristocracies wanted poets at court. There was something that was cultivated. You could just be a poet and roam around, and people thought it was cool. And you had a way of seeing life and putting life and pain and all that into words, the way a musician does. That's why people love music so much. And if you were a bard, a singer, you were also a poet. And I remember these two Scottish guys. One was from the Lowlands, so he spoke kind of Scots, which is a Scottish inflection of English. So it's Germanic based, which came from the English. And then the other guy was from the Highlands. He spoke Scots Gaelic, which was the original Celtic language of the Scottish. And they were having a poet battle using their own, English, but they're also their own respective tongues. I remember reading about, it wasn't Caravaggio, because he was just a painter. It was another Italian painter who was also a poet. And he went to a French court, and he was right. He was right, but he lived a life. He was kind of a badass. He was getting into battles. People would write stuff about him. They talk shit. He was a womanizer. So he would bang another dude's wife, and people would write poems. You fucking bitch. Their version. It sounds eloquent to us, but to them, I'm not sure how eloquent it was. I'm sure it was in a way, but not as eloquent. We put it on because it's older, we put it on a higher echelon, a higher podium. And then he'd go he'd have sword fights with these guys. I wish his name began with a B. I wish I could remember it. But he would, give me 1 second. Let me see if I can remember it. Italian Renaissance poet and painter. Was it Batista? No. Poet and painter. Man, I keep getting Caravaggio, but anyway, I'll figure it out. It doesn't matter. It might have been Giovanni Battista. It might have been him. Anyway. Anyway, they're just trying to... a lot of people think they're above life, and they're not. And so these guys, poets have always had battles. Anyway, this guy was a badass. He was in France, and he was in a... I gotta find his name. He was in a... He was he went to the French king, and he goes, "Hey, this other the nobleman didn't like him because he had this this violent air about him, because he lived the life." And they go, "Hey, this guy, he went to the king. He goes, this guy fucked me over in a deal." The poet says this to him. He's a poet and a sculptor. He wasn't a painter. He was a sculptor. And he goes, "Hey, this guy fucked me over in a deal." And he goes, "Hey, well, if you're the guy you say you are in your poetry, then you'll handle it the way you see fit." And he goes, "Oh shit!" And he goes, and then he ended up getting in trouble because he killed the guy. But the king was like, "Look, you killed him, so I gotta tell you to beat it." But at the same time, he was like, "That's the life you live." He was like, "Look, I read your poetry because you're a badass, because you fuck bitches and make money, like essentially, because you get laid and you have fun." And Benvenuto Cellini, that was the guy's name. He made a beautiful sculpture that's still on a bridge today in Italy of I wish I could remember the guy's name, but the guy killed it was of the mythical guy who killed Medusa. And it's a statue of this man holding his sword, looking beautiful in his Greek godness, and he's holding the head of Medusa, with the gore coming out of her neck after he cut her head off. And so anyway, that guy was a loser. That's the moral of my story, that the guy who was trying to make fun of these guys is a bum. And, I don't know. I'm looking at my list here. Protests on campus. I don't know. It's an interesting thing. I think a lot of people, here's my thing to conservatives. I thought you already didn't like these liberal colleges, so shouldn't you be like, hey, they're getting what they deserve when their own students are... I mean, these kids are paying a lot of money to go there and fuck shit up. It's not, it's not... Here's the thing. College is a scam. It's another one of those scams we've been talking about. Insurance, taxes. It's a great big scam where you pay too much and you're always scammed. And you're scammed on books, scammed on meals, scammed on classes. It's a big scam. So, even if you don't agree with them, who cares? You let the university scams get what they have coming to them. The university is getting paid. They're getting paid, what, 50 grand a year at least, 60, 70 grand a year by these kids to... If they started hurting people, I get it, but it's also it's very interesting that when people are protesting our own government, when people are rioting, we had some real riots in 2020, some violent, serious riots. The police stood back and did nothing. People held up a sign that said, "Israel don't commit genocide," and the police are bashing skulls. It's just something to think about. That fuck up America? Yeah, go ahead. Are you going to say a bad thing about Israel? Well, now the police, it shows that they've had, that it's all planned. Anyway, I don't even want to start that tangent. I didn't want to end the show here. I wanted to end it on my positive note, which is get the shit off your fucking goggles. Get the shit off your goggles, and I don't know. I found a lot of peace this week, and I just wanted to share it with you guys, because I was not there earlier in the week when I was calling a Swede gay. So don't ever be afraid to take time for yourself to make yourself better, because if you keep overworking yourself to get where you want, you will eventually be forced to take time off, and it'll fucking hurt you in the long run. it's better to take time to heal and recuperate than it is to burn yourself out. Physically, mentally, emotionally, the whole 9 yards. Spiritually, that's a big one too. So have faith. Look for the signs. Look for fate. Because she's out there. She's making things happen. Sometimes you're just ignoring it because you get that big doo-doo burger on your fucking goggles and you get that big piece of shit in your goggles and you're not seeing anything but that piece of shit. You know? Look over your right. There's a shit washing station. So, you know? Take a step back. Let your eyes focus. Let your eyes relax and see the whole picture. Anyway, I got to get back to getting my house ready for some insurance guy who I don't want to come here. But other thing is, the insurance company, they're like, we'll send out an adjuster. I'm calling the adjuster like, hey, dude, I don't really want you to come out because I'm going to rescind this claim. But I found out that he gets paid if he comes to my house. So he keeps pretending like he can't get a hold of me because he wants to get paid to come to my house. But I'm afraid that they're going to hold this against me and be like, oh, we had to pay a guy to come out to your house, so now we're definitely upping your premiums. And I'm like, dude, don't come to my house because you can't see the damage until the tree's gone. So get away. Go away. I'm like, I don't need you to come. And now he's just ignoring me, and I'm just... all you can do in the face of overwhelming scamishness. I was trying to come with something deep there. When faced with something overwhelming, you know, just the grandness of life, or when shitty things keep lining up, all you can do is laugh and stand there and say, fuck you, suck my dick. I got my hog in one hand and my sword in my other, and I'm going out battling, wanking and chuckling. And you ain't going to get in my way, no matter how much you throw at me. Because the only other option is to despair. Or get angry, which is another version of despair and hatred. Either way, you lose control, and it only gets worse. They don't make it better. Anyway, guys, get your act together. Go out there, be well. Happy springtime. Happy life. I don't have. That's it. Happy life. All right. Peace out. With a hood, yeah.